What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Remmen, aka All Fires. Happy Daredevil release day. The episodes are finally dropping tonight. Of course, we're going to do watch parties. We'll talk about that in just a second. But today's story is not surprising at all in any way. And in fact, for viewers of the channel who've been watching me for 2 or 3 years now, you'll know I was saying the same thing since the original announcement for Secret Wars and what we thought then was Avengers 5 Kang Dynasty. They need more time to do those movies. And now, according to one of the most trusted industry insider sources, it appears as though Marvel Studios may agree. They need more time to do these films, in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, well, they may be delayed. We're going to break down this latest update, where it exactly came from, and the details he added as to why this may happen. We'll also talk about it in context about the end of the Multiverse saga and why ultimately I think not only is this a good thing, but it's the only way forward. We're breaking it all down, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. If you're into that kind of thing, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. We're also bringing back the watch parties. It has been way too long. We will go live tonight about an hour before the show drops, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. I'll see you then. And now let's jump into today's scoop. Okay, so this is the latest according to industry insider Jeff Snyder. You guys might know him from his own editorial, The In Snyder, or the Hot Mic podcast on YouTube. Last year, this is the same industry insider who nailed Robert Downey Jr. taking the role of Dr. Doom in months before it was confirmed by Marvel. So take that as you will, but at least some of his sources now have a proven track record. And this is what he had to say recently, again on the Hot Mic podcast, about Doomsday and then by default Secret Wars being delayed. Quote, "I heard a rumor that Doomsday might push. I think that the release date could push to the next slot. They don't know who's going to be in the movie. That's what I heard. I heard we still don't know who ultimately is going to be in this movie and who's not. We don't know who's going to be available. I think they're still trying to figure that out and what the ensemble looks like." Which is an absolutely crazy update considering they're supposed to start filming Doomsday and later this month. Now, this has actually been corroborated by some scoops that came before it. You guys may remember Benedict Cumberbatch was emphatic that he wasn't in Doomsday, and then a day or two later decided that, oh, by the way, I am in Doomsday. We also heard that Tom Holland's Spider-Man might actually have a stunt double filling in for him for scenes and during Doomsday, because he'll be splitting duties between that movie, Spider-Man 4, and the filming coming up for Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. We've also heard from Daniel Rickman that they've already delayed the starting of shooting, and by a couple of weeks, and while that doesn't seem like a big deal, the reason given was they're still working on the script. So their backs are against the wall to even get this thing off the ground. And to seemingly compound matters, they've given themselves no leeway, no room to work outside of a strict deadline, period, because next May is when they're planning on releasing the film. And for me, these reports seem normal. I could imagine it's difficult with this many A-list actors and this late in the game trying to coordinate everything for filming. Sure. But none of this even takes into account what I think is even more of a pressing matter, and that's the constraints in post, where there won't be time for extensive rewrites and reshoots at all, and there certainly won't be any time for them to change any of the CGI, let alone maybe even be able to get it done. And we've already seen with Marvel, when it comes to how much time the CGI houses and the artists have to work on it, the longer they have, the better it is. So it seems like they're being squeezed from both sides here, where if they just moved Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars to 2027 and 2028 respectively, not only would they give themselves a lot more time at the beginning of the films to get these straight, but it would also give them a lot more time to finish them. And keep in mind, the plan right now was to start shooting Secret Wars next year, assumedly right when they're finishing Doomsday, which means if there's any delays to that, it could hold them up from even starting Avengers Secret Wars. So, like I said at the beginning, these movies getting pushed off is not only a good thing because it gives the CGI artists more time, it gives Marvel Studios more time, and at the end of the day would allow them to present a more finished, more polished, better project. I think it's the only way forward. I don't see how they are going to be successful in this unless they are absolutely keyed in on what they need to do. But with reports of not even knowing which actors are involved yet, and that they haven't even finished the script for the first film, well, can you imagine how many things are contingent to change in Secret Wars based on how they leave off in Doomsday? And if that isn't done, that means they can't even start really cementing the story for Secret Wars, and maybe that's why they didn't shoot these at the same time, because they need one first done before the other. That's even more of an argument to give yourself an extra year to make sure these films are okay. Look, this is going to be Avengers Secret Wars, maybe the first and only movie that has a chance of sniffing $3 billion at the box office, save like the next Avatar. And seriously, Marvel cannot afford to have Gumby Hulks and bad CGI floating around in Avengers Secret Wars. Like, it just can't happen. They need to have the best foot forward on all levels for this film. It could be and should be one of the biggest movies of all time, even with the recent what feels like step back from Marvel Studios with a lot of their projects. An extra year is not even that long in the grand scheme of things for them to work on this when you look at something like Captain America Brave New World that got an extra 2 years. So, inevitably, when could this announcement even come? Well, it would have to come soon and from Marvel in some capacity because the rest of the industry falls like dominoes around their release dates, and if they're not going to release Doomsday and Secret Wars in those 2 years, other film studios need to know about it, but it could be they want to get into the beginning of filming and see where they're at, and I would say the more things just progress, if a month or two from now we are in the heart of them filming on Avengers Doomsday and things have been going as planned, perhaps there's no delay incoming. I just think they should. Regardless if they need to, I think they should give themselves an extra 12 months to get both of these films to the proper quality that they need to be. And shoot, it can't hurt just from the CGI perspective to give those artists more time to work on this stuff. We've seen it again and again and again, especially with Marvel. The more time the artists have, the better it looks. When they ask them to do last minute revisions, it just ends up looking bad. And I don't suspect that She-Hulk is going to look how she did in the show in these movies. We saw her in the recent keyframes, which means it's at least in some respect in Secret Wars she'll be back. But at the same time, the only times we've seen She-Hulk, she has looked really bad on screen, especially when the rooms are fully lit with sunlight. It is not good, and Marvel Studios needs a lot of time for a lot of CGI, presumably, for both of these films. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below. How mad you're going to be if they do end up delaying them a year, or do you totally wholeheartedly agree with me? Take the extra time, it can't hurt. I'm all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff. Although first, quick reminder again, we are doing watch parties for all the Daredevil episodes for every season. Starting tonight, it's 2 episodes back to back. They go live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go live at the channel around 8 an hour before. That's 5 on the West Coast. We have some good discussion before. I watch here as you watch at home. Then we have after discussion, and then I take my butt to go do the Easter egg videos. In the meantime, though, I would love to see you tonight. If you are planning on watching Daredevil, come by and watch with us. It's always a great time. We are still giving away PlayStation 5s. All you got to do to be entered to win, be a sub, leave a comment, because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, under the name Allfires. And while I would sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.